Hari Om. I'm going to speak on chapter 9 of Bhagavad Gita. The chapter 9 is a continuation of chapter 7 and 8. Chapter 9, Sri Krishna says, is the most important secret knowledge that is capable of giving you moksha. Moksha is that ultimate state of freedom. The state of freedom from all of the bondages and sufferings and the cycle of birth and death. What is this knowledge? And there are two words that Sri Krishna has used in the beginning of this chapter 9, and that is the secret. And he's used the word jnana and vijnana. Word jnana is atma jnana, the self-realization, the understanding of me. Who am I? I am that atma. Who am I? I am not body. I am not my indriyas, that is my organs. I am not this ego. I am this divine dimension of atma, the equality and divinity concept. That is jnana, atma jnana. And the second word he has used is vishwa jnana, vijnana, the knowledge of the cosmos, the knowledge of the universe, the understanding of every object around me, the understanding of the forces in this mother nature, understanding of the functions of these forces, realizing the creation, transformation and destruction. Everything is Vishwa Jnana Vijnana. And Sri Krishna is saying that you must have both. Jnana plus Vijnana, the knowledge of the self plus knowledge of the mother nature. And when you combine these two, that's the path that will lead you to the ultimate freedom, moksha. That will tell you how your karma should be. That will tell you what is your path. That will tell you who you are. That will tell you your importance and your position in the cosmos. So every karma, every event, every action has to be understood with jnana and vijnana together. And that is the secret of moksha. If you do not attach this Vishwa Jnana, the knowledge of the mother nature, or the knowledge about the functioning of the mother nature in our day-to-day life, what happens? Look at our society. Look at ourselves as individuals. We really don't know what is the direction of life. The goals that we have set in our life for ourselves. What is the first goal that I have learned in my school? Oh, I want to become a millionaire. Well, when I become a millionaire, what's next? My life aim is fulfilled. Then what to do? I just shift my goalpost and I say, no, now I want to be a billionaire. And this goalpost keeps shifting because I really don't know what is the purpose of my life. Why it has happened? Because I have not combined this jnana and vijnana together. The society as a whole, also, we have lost the direction. If you look at it objectively, we have created so much of fantastic new things in our world. Technology. No doubt technology has certain benefits. But look overall what the technology has done to our life. Mobile phones are really important. They have become important in our life today. They certainly have some advantages. But overall, what we are facing is more problem, more anxiety, more stress, more worries, more sadness. I'm telling you, 1.5 hour plus use of mobile phone every day, this is what it's doing to people. 10 years, 15 years ago, mobile phones were not used so much. Do we really think that our life was really bad at that time? Mobile phones added value, but look the direction of it. Why it is happening? Our world is going crazy for industrialization. The more the industrialized nation we become, the more problems we have for our ourselves. If you look at the arms race, we know this is not good. Wars are not good. Weapons of mass destructions are not good. But look what every nation is doing. They're just building it. Everyone knows if there is a nuclear war between any two countries in the world, every country will face a lot of problems because of the emissions that will destroy the atmosphere. Everyone knows it. Still no one is stopping. Why there is this big gap? And it's because of jnana and vijnana not coming together. And Sri Krishna is explaining the reason for it. Why this misunderstanding has happened? Because these two things are not brought together. And when these two things are not brought together, what happens? Avajanandi mam mudham manushim tanumashritam. He says because these two are not combined, the human being cannot clearly understand his or her connection with the Mother Nature. And he misunderstands the purpose of life is just to fulfill his desires. Maybe the desires for power, maybe the sensory desires, maybe these desires giving rise to attachments, and we misunderstand that becomes our purpose. Sometimes even the ideas of yoga are misunderstood, and people use these ideas of yoga for fulfilling their desires. Oh, I want to become very healthy, so I will look very young. If I look very young, then I will have all the joy and pleasure of youth. Or I want to do a lot of meditation, so in the corporate world, I'll be more successful, I'll have more money, I'll have more power. Look at the use of this. This confusion has happened because of this. So what is happening here is the jnana, the wisdom, the knowledge, is becoming useless because the direction is not there. Because the Atma Jnana and the Vishwa Jnana, the Mother Nature knowledge and the knowledge of the Atma is not combined. There is a desire to work, the desire that gives rise to our karmas. That desire also becomes useless because the direction is taking us into a wrong way. And the karma also becomes useless. So jnana, bala and kriya or karma, all of three become useless if the direction is this. But what this creation has led to? It has created the idea of heaven in the mind of the living beings. And this idea of heaven is based on the bhoga sankalpana. The bhoga is the desires, the ego, the power. All of these dimensions, they change the direction of our karmas. This direction of karmas ultimately ends up in suffering. This is the subject that Sri Krishna is highlighting here. Look at our society. Look at the direction of our society. Look at the education system that we have. In our education system, what are we taught? Success is money. Why success is money? Because with money, we can have all our desires fulfilled. All our power is based on this. And this is what we are learning. Naturally, every country in the world wants their economy to be the most powerful one. The focus of every country is on the GDP growth. Every country thinks that their citizens should be millionaires. And this is a very interesting dimension for all of us to think about. Because if you get a lot of money, you have more and more and more and more desires. Is there an end to a desire? Take example of wine. There is no end to what wine you want to taste. The people who test wine first day, the desire second day is to test better wine. Third day, even better wine. After 10 years, it's even better wine. And what is that better wine? Just see the cost of these wines. The costliest wine was $500,000 US. One bottle of wine. So there is no limit to these desires that are created. And if you are thinking that this is what my life is about, have the best wine, have the best car, have the best house, and that will make everyone happy. But is it a reality? Is it possible? Can we all have our desires fulfilled in this way? There was this funny movie called Bruce Almighty. And this guy in that movie is given a power by the God himself. And then now he has to do the job of God. So he has to answer the prayers. But look, the problem is the prayers are crazy. A prayer of a man is, I want to win the case. The God wants to answer that prayer. But there's another guy who comes, who is fighting against this person. And he says, okay, God, I also want to win the court case. The problem for the God is whose prayer to listen. Someone says, I want more money, but the money has to come from somewhere. Money is just not there in some kind of treasury. If one wants money, the money comes from someone else. So these prayers that are connected with our desires, there is no ending to it. There's a very beautiful little story by Khalil Gibran. A dog is walking. He's a very smart, very wise dog. He's walking, and he is walking by a little community gathering of cats. So there are these cats, and the leader of the cats, she's standing on the dais in front of the mic and all of that. And she's saying, hey, let's pray to the God. And if our prayers are answered, the God will shower the rain of mice. That's what the cats like. Say, oh, God will be so kind on us. He'll shower the mice. The dog is very smart. He comes back to his community and he says to his group, say, hey, this is what these cats are planning. They are planning to have a common prayer, and then the God will shower the mice, the rain of mice. The wise dogs, they say, no, that's not how it happens. If you pray to God, the God showers rain of bones. This is the idea of sensory pleasures that we all have in our head. Most of us want to walk on the path of spirituality. And what for? So that I can improve my productivity. Then I will be more successful in my corporate life. Then I will become more rich. Then I will have more of money. Then I will have more cars. More people will respect me. I will have power. This is how people are using spiritual dimensions. And this is exactly what Sri Krishna is saying to Arjuna. This is what's ending up in the suffering again. So understand the nature of this Paramatma. The story of Khalil Gibran I said, probably you thought, okay, it's not for me. No. A child. Ask the child, what is your dream? The child will probably tell you, I am walking in the forest, chocolates everywhere, candies everywhere, little toys everywhere. Wow, that's the idea of heaven for a child. When the child grows into adult, the dream changes. What is the idea of heaven for a grown-up man? A lot of money, a Ferrari, a house in Beverly Hills. The idea changed. Some sects, these even today, have this idea of heaven which contains all these weird things: money, women, gold. This is what is the idea. The more desires you fulfill, what are you doing? You have a nice car. You have 2 cars. I have more desire. 10 cars. More desire. 15 cars. Look what is happening. I want a nice house, so I build big house. In that big house, I have so many electronic gadgets. I have so many machines. I have washing machine. I have this dryer. I have this fridge. I have this iron. I have this television. I have this laptops. I have this mobile phones. What are they doing? The more desires, objects of desire you have, what are these objects of desire? They are nothing but you are utilizing the energy of the Mother Nature. When I make a car, the car is burning fuel. I am increasing my carbon emission. To make the car, to make that steel, to make that machine, the engine, the gearbox, the air conditioner, everything needs energy. The more objects of desire I have, the more carbon footprint I am leaving, the more energy I am spending, the more technological things that I have, I am spending more and more energy. That is creating global warming for me. The more economy advanced, the more industries, the more I am emitting carbon. Look what I am doing. Look what is the direction of this. Is this going to create heaven for me? It will certainly for a certain period of time. Then I start realizing that actually this most industrialized, most prosperous, most powerful economies are polluting the world in the most powerful way, most significant way. Look at the topmost economies. They are the ones who are leading cause of carbon emissions and causing global warming. So my desires are causing all of this problem. I am enjoying right now, but tomorrow, am I going to enjoy? The scientists are saying you are not going to enjoy that. You are going to be suffering. If you really think, if we really understand that no, I like to be super rich, I like to have all my desires. Look at the rich people around you. Do we really like them? We really want to be like them, but we don't like them. I want to be like him, but do I really like that person? No, I am jealous of him. If you become rich, that's what's going to happen. There is no statistically significant study that says that if you are rich, you are happier. If you are rich, you have no stress. If you are rich, you have no depression. If you are rich, you have no anxiety. There is no study that confirms this. So the direction that we feel like wanting, that swarga, that heaven, is it really heaven? That needs to be asked. Shri Krishna is telling Arjuna that his goalpost should not be this direction. The Paramatma is not this. The divine dimension is not telling you to walk in this path, on this path, because it's going to end up with this karma bandha, the attachments, and they are going to bring suffering. They are going to destroy everything, so it will cause suffering and you will just get stuck with this life cycle. A desire, fulfilling the desire, that fruit gives another desire, then fulfill that, then another desire, fulfill that, stuck. Move out of that. In our education system, the teachings of Bhagavad Gita should come. The idea of success should not be measured in terms of money and power. Why can't we have this idea? How successful I am, how many trees I planted, how much carbon emission I reduced, how I minimized my needs. I have crazy needs. My needs have no limit. One phone, one tab, one laptop, desktop in the house, desktop in the company. How much I need? One car for me, one sports car, one car for wife. How much do I really need? Really, all of these needs that I have created for myself, do I need it? The less I have, the better it is. That's what Buddha realized. Just gave up. I don't want this, I don't want this, because if I have this money, I am worried as to how to keep it safe. If I have money, then I have to invest it in a proper way so that it does not go down. So I put in nice mutual funds or all these financial institutions, respected banks and all of that. It's stressful. The less you have, the less stress you have. This is what should become our values. That's what Sri Krishna is saying. How much control I have over my desires. That should become a norm. That's why we respect Buddha. We don't respect Buddha because he was walking with orange clothes on. We respect him because he had a control over his desire. We respect Buddha because he had control over his anger. In my school, I was never taught how to control my desires. I was never taught how to control my anger. But this is the subject of Bhagavad Gita. This is what Sri Krishna is saying. Change the direction. What you think is heaven? No. This should be the direction of Paramatma. How many people are my good friends? I mentioned the study from Harvard Medical School. The people who live longest, the people who are happiest, are the people who have very good social relations. Am I trying that? Number of friends that I have, I just count on the number of friends on my Facebook page. Does that really make sense? 3,000 friends, but I am still alone and lonely and I am depressed. These friends are of no use. The personal connections, leaving your desires and ego behind, when you sacrifice these desires and ego for someone and give an unconditional love to that person, that's when you build friendship. It's not really important how many people I helped earn money. It's not important how many people I distributed my chocolate. Doesn't matter how many people I shared my glass of wine. It's not going to help you. That doesn't really build relations. So we have to understand the purpose of life should be directed to Atma, the equality, divinity concept beyond your desires and ego. This Samadhi state or this Atma dimension is a very interesting dimension which is beyond time and space. The subject has come here indirectly. My consciousness is controlled by time, the past, the present and future. My physical existence has limitations put in by the space. I cannot travel suddenly to moon and come back. I cannot go back in time, in past. I cannot go into the future. The time and space has limited my consciousness. The effort to move out of this limitation is the Paramatma Pad, the divine dimension. The desires and ego are binding me to this space and time dimension. If you look into the yogic texts, what is the concept of samadhi? What is the idea of nirvana? This is the idea of nirvana. Another word has come, that is moksha. Moksha is that freedom beyond this time and space. The consciousness grows beyond your body. The consciousness identifies yourself not just with your body but beyond that. The consciousness identifies itself with this tree. The consciousness identifies itself with this animal. The consciousness identifies itself with the water. The consciousness identifies itself with everything around. This is the idea of samadhi. The freedom from these bondages of karmas which limit the consciousness within time and space. A person in this world who makes an attempt to know this dimension is called Parama Bhakta, Bhakta, the devotee. The word devotee has generally been misunderstood. Someone who has faith in God and then who prays to the God. But Bhakta here in Bhagavad Gita has a broader dimension. You don't want to be a Bhakta of the God and you're praying, okay, hey God, give me this rain of mice. That's not going to help you. But the Bhakta who understands the true nature of Paramatma, the true nature of this divinity and devotes himself to the purpose of this divinity, every action that he does in his life, all the tapa, the austerities he do, all the karmas that he do, all the things that he give away are in the direction of this Paramatma. That is selfless and egoless karma yoga. That bhakta, Shri Krishna says, is very dear to the divine. And the next subject, the last subject of this is all about this bhakta. The one who sincerely offers everything, even what the food that the person eats. He's not eating it for his tongue, he's eating it for Paramatma. What do you mean by eating it for the divine? Eating it to get the energy, to strengthen the body so that the same body can be used for this karma of Paramatma, not the karma of desires and ego. The one who does that sincerely, the one who always keeps in his mind the reality that is divinity, the one who sleeps with the understanding of divinity, the one who breathes with the understanding of divinity is a real bhakta, the real devotee. And Shri Krishna says, Ananyas chintayanto mam ye jana paripasate tesham nityabhiyuktanam yogakshemam vahamyaham. Such person who tries to walk on this path, who is selfless, who doesn't really think of his own desires and his own survival. Shri Krishna says the divine takes care of such people. And the society, if you look around with your open eyes, you will see such people around. In our own society, there are people who are living for others, who are trying to understand the importance of every object around, who are just not thinking about their own power and ego and desires. The only problem is these people are less in number. All of us have this urge in us that tells us this is the reality. But somehow we are not able to follow that. So Shri Krishna is saying to Arjuna that if you make an effort in this direction, this is exactly what is the highest path that is expected from you in this life. When you follow this path, that is bhakti, the path of devotion. So the starting of bhakti is from chapter 9. Actually it's from chapter 8 and 7. But chapter 9 is specifically Shri Krishna is guiding Arjuna in that direction. And he says that's the aim of your life. So I'm going to stop here with chapter 9. Hari Om.